How's it going? Back with another Friday video. I was going to say Facebook Live, but I always say Facebook Live, and I realize that I put this on Instagram and YouTube, so it's not always accurate. So while it does go on Facebook, it also goes to a variety of places. So I gotta get out of that habit. So it's my Friday video, my Friday Live video. We'll say it like that. Um, I hope everyone has had a good week. My week has been pretty decent, a little busy, but this weekend's pretty busy too. We're going to a couple of different Easter celebrations and gonna see lots of family. So both my wife's family and my family, which is good. I'm excited about that. So looking forward to that this weekend. I hope everyone else is doing something fun this weekend, either seeing family, friends, or getting outside, or just doing something you enjoy, which I think everyone should do on the weekends. Today, I wanted to talk a little about. I was listening to a podcast, the Flex Diet podcast, with my friend and coach, Dr. Mike T. Nelson, and he was talking to his guest about um, training for training's sake versus training for doing something outside of the gym. And so I think a lot of us find, that we're going to the gym and doing something and lifting weights or doing some sort of cardio or whatever we might be doing at the gym. And I think I found myself in this spot originally, kind of several years ago, where I was just going to the gym because I knew it was healthy, right? We go to the gym because we know that's what we should do to maintain our health, right? We need to be exercising and lifting weights and doing all the things at the gym. And we hear how good all that stuff is. But oftentimes that's good enough to get us started. It's good enough to maybe like start our journey. But it's not oftentimes the best way to keep it going, right? So people kind of like get sick of it after a while or get bored. I'm just going to the gym just because I know that I should be. I'm just lifting these weights because I know that I should be, or I'm running on this treadmill because I know that I should be. And I got myself into that spot too, where I was like, I'm just going to the gym just because, like, I know that I should be doing it. And when I graduated university, I decided that I wanted to do something else besides just go to the gym. I wanted to put some meaning behind the training that I was doing, and that's where I found obstacle course racing and kind of led me down this path of, of where I am today as a health coach. And I think I think if I didn't find something to put um, some meaning behind the training that I was doing at the gym, that I would have fell off the wagon. I would have, quote unquote, fell off the wagon where I just would stop going to the gym, or it wouldn't be as consistent. And, things would easily come up that I'd rather be doing because they're more important, more fun, or whatever than just going to the gym for going to the gym's sake. So I think this topic of finding meaning in your training, especially meaning outside of the gym setting, is important, right? And for some people, that might be meaning in finding in doing some type of competition, whether it's a 5K race or a bike ride or a obstacle course race or maybe a strongman competition or maybe even a powerlifting competition or whatever, where you're still in the gym lifting, but you're doing it for um, some kind of purpose, some kind of meeting, or there's some other end goal. For some people, it might not be a competition at all. It doesn't certainly does not have to be. It could be that you just want to be able to on the weekends go for very strenuous hikes in the mountains, or you want to be you're training because you want to go hunting and you have these long hunting trips that you go on in order to provide food for you and your family. Um, Maybe you're foraging on the weekends for fruits and vegetables and wild things that you can eat, mushrooms, whatever, and you want to be physically fit to go out and do that. Maybe you're training because you want to be able to play with your kids or your grandkids. You want to be able to pick them up. You want to run. You want to play tag. You want to play baseball. You want to play soccer or whatever sport. You want to play hide and seek. You want to, do these things with people that you love. Um, Maybe it's because you enjoy going out hiking with your wife on the weekend or your husband on the weekend or whatever significant other you might have on the weekends and doing something physically fit with them. I think the more that I personally grow in my journey, it used to be just about OCR, but now I also am doing things like, for example, I mentioned a couple weekends ago, I tried snowboarding for the first time. And that's something I've decided to commit to for the next winter is like learning how to snowboard. So I want to be physically fit enough so that I can get on snowboard and fall down multiple times and not kill myself. So that's one thing. And I enjoy um, doing physical related activities with my wife because she's also likes to exercise. So, we'll enter like we a couple months ago we entered a DECA Fit competition where you had like 10 different fitness activities you had to do. We just did it for fun. And then we have another one planned in the fall where we're going to do high rocks together, which is kind of similar. It's like several different exercise stations. And that one we're actually going to compete as a team. So we're going to do it as a team together. It's something me and my wife just like to do. We like to take off and go hiking, occasionally as time, and we're, lots of our alone time activities are based around just, physical type of activities, like doing something that requires you to be somewhat physically competent to do them. And we enjoy doing those. I'm not saying that you have to, with your significant other, but that's something we just like to do. And so I want to be able to do those things. So, and obviously, I want to be able to play with my kids, right? My son's start t-ball, my daughter's rock climbing. Like I want to be able to do all these things with my kids and not be the parent that is not physically able to do them. So lots of my drive, originally was just about my own selfish, pursuits in obstacle course racing. But now, as I evolve as a father and a husband, um, many of my drives to challenge myself in the gym actually have to do with doing things with the ones I love. And so I find a lot of meaning in that. And like, for example, um, my coach, Dr. Mike Nelson, he likes to train in the gym so he can go out and kiteboard, right? And so it could be something like that, right? It could be kiteboarding or some other type of wakeboarding or whatever, right? And I think once you find something you love outside the gym and you can tie that back to what you do in the gym, it's much easier. It's much better. And the other thing that Dr. Mike had pointed out in that podcast was that um, when you're left with just like training in the gym for training's sake, right? You're always trying to push the limits. Like, how much can I lift? How much can I deadlift? How much can I bench press? How much can I squat, etc. Right? You're just kind of measuring like the things that get you excited are PRs, right? And eventually, yeah, it's good to get to certain thresholds as far as like being able to deadlift your body weight or squat your body weight or whatever. But those pursuits, once you start going beyond kind of just basic human survival type of things, like they're probably not serving you that well. Right? I mean, trying to reach an 800-pound back squat, for example, this is an extreme example, right? Is probably taking away from things in your life, right? You're probably not be able to move as well. You're going to be very sore. You're going to have to dedicate a whole bunch of time to it. And the only thing you get back from that is just saying that you squatted 800 pounds. And that's cool. Like I'm super impressed because I could never do that. But you also sacrificed a lot just to say that you did that. And, people need to decide whether that sacrifice is worth that, right? And worth that trade-off. Whereas you say, yeah, I can only squat 300 pounds, but I can, go rock climbing with my daughter when she asks me to, right? Or if you're squatting 800 pounds, your mobility, flexibility, agility, your ability to climb up a wall might not be very good because you focus so much on doing that squat. Um, and again, it's all about what's important to you and where you find meaning in your life, etc. But I think finding meaning in things that we do in our training to activities that we enjoy that are outside of that training modality is very important for not only our mental health and physical health, but just having a lifelong being physically active for your entire life, essentially. So that's really what I talk about today. I hope that was kind of interesting. I know it's completely opposite of what I talked about last week. Which, if you enjoyed last week's breakdown of that study and whatnot, I'd love to hear your feedback on that. And if you want to see more than that, I'm cool doing that stuff too. But I think this is just a little bit more practical. I like to mixture of both, honestly. Uh, yeah. So if you have any questions or comments about what I just talked about, I'll link to the podcast I was talking about in the description here. So you can check that out if you want to listen more. I encourage you to. It's a very interesting discussion that Dr. Mike had on his podcast. And if you are interested in one-on-one coaching, please go ahead and you can go to my homepage at rjbhealth.coach. Click on the schedule discovery call button and fill out the form, and I'll get back to you ASAP, and we can talk about more whether it'd be a good fit to work together. If you want to get all of the content that I put out on a weekly basis without having to stalk me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever, please subscribe to my newsletter. And you can do that again at my website, rjbhealth.coach, and click the newsletter link at the top, and you can subscribe to that. I'll also start trying to put that in the description of the video as well. So if that makes it easier for everyone, I'll do that. Probably a good idea. And with that, I will say, wish everyone a happy weekend. If you're celebrate Easter, happy Easter. And I will talk to everyone next week.